What if everything you think you know about a tragic accident is just the surface? What if behind the headlines lies a secret so dark, it could change how we see Hollywood forever? Today, we are diving deep into the mysterious death of Malcolm Jamal Warner, a story of fame, courage, and silence that nobody wants you to hear. Stay with me, because this is not just another celebrity story. This is a warning. I'm the type of person who likes to connect dots, sometimes even when maybe I shouldn't. Call it being a bit of a conspiracy thinker. Recently, NBC News confirmed something heartbreaking. Actor Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away at just 54 years old. Officials in Costa Rica told NBC that he tragically drowned while swimming in the ocean last Sunday. Malcolm Jamal Warner is best remembered for his Emmy-nominated role, a performance that touched millions and made him a beloved figure in television history. Many say that some people shine so brightly that the darkness around them simply cannot contain their light. Malcolm was undeniably one of those rare, brilliant stars. But what if his tragic drowning was not just a heartbreaking accident, a random misfortune? What if the ocean that pulled him under held a deeper secret, something far more unsettling beneath the surface? Behind the official reports and the calm statements from authorities, quiet whispers are beginning to grow louder, hinting at a story that refuses to stay buried. There's a tale circulating from multiple sources: industry insiders, former bodyguards, and others who claim to have witnessed the darker side of Hollywood. According to these voices, Malcolm Jamal Warner didn't simply resist the pressure to sell out. He was someone who dared to speak out against the system, a system steeped in secrecy, power, and an unspoken code of silence. In Hollywood, where image often outweighs truth, challenging the powerful machine is a dangerous game. And those who do are sometimes made to disappear in ways that defy easy explanation. Malcolm was more than just an actor. He was a symbol of integrity in an industry that often rewards compromise over conviction. While many artists lose themselves to the glitter and fame, Malcolm managed to maintain a quiet strength and authenticity that set him apart. This refusal to conform, to keep silent about the industry's hidden rules, may have been the very thing that put him in harm's way. The entertainment world is no stranger to mysterious disappearances, sudden downfalls, and stories left incomplete. And those who dare to break the code risk being erased. The timing of Malcolm's death raises questions that many find hard to ignore. It happened during a family vacation in Costa Rica, a place of beauty and peace, yet the circumstances of his drowning suggest something more complicated than a simple accident. A stranger risked his life trying to save Malcolm, a detail that some say proves the randomness of the event, while others see it as a critical piece in a much bigger puzzle. Why has this man remained silent? Has anyone asked what really happened that day? In recent years, Malcolm had been quietly preparing to share his truth. Friends close to him say he had started recording notes, gathering stories about the hidden, invisible rules that govern the industry. Some believed he planned to release a podcast or write a book, projects that could have exposed uncomfortable truths and challenged the powerful forces behind the scenes. Speaking out in Hollywood is rarely without consequence, especially when you do so with credibility and courage. Malcolm's legacy, like his life, was about more than just fame. It was about standing for something real in a world often built on illusion. And while the official narrative might say his death was a tragic accident, the whispers hint at a far more complex reality. They warn us to look closer, to listen carefully, and to question what we are being told. Because sometimes, when a light shines too brightly, the darkness will do everything it can to snuff it out. It's painful to say, but the news about Malcolm's death feels unreal. Since the moment he became famous as Theo Huxtable, he was not just a TV star, he was a quiet rebel. He managed to navigate Hollywood without scandals, without giving in, without playing the usual games. While many child stars get caught up in drama, Malcolm stayed true to himself. He made art, raised his daughter, and kept his life clean. That honesty and calm peace he talked about? Some insiders say that's exactly why he ended up on a dangerous list. In certain circles, being peaceful is seen as a problem, and staying silent makes people suspicious. We've seen this pattern before. Remember Dave? That clip of him standing on stage, serious and calm, saying, "When a hero falls, the cowards celebrate." Back then, most people nodded and moved on. But now, with everything that happened to Dave, how he walked away from millions and disappeared, it feels different. Why did he leave? Because he refused to join the game. When he came back, his stories were not jokes, they were warnings. So when he said the cowards rejoiced, maybe it wasn't just a line. Maybe it was a prediction. This isn't just Hollywood drama about creative fights. Multiple sources, including a former assistant from the set of Read Between the Lines, say Malcolm was getting ready to speak out. He was secretly recording notes about the invisible rules in the industry. Some say he planned a podcast, others say a book. But everyone agrees on one thing: Malcolm was ready to reveal the truth. And in an industry built on forced silence, one actor speaking up with honesty and courage? That's dangerous. Now, here's the name nobody says openly: Oprah. A theory is spreading fast online, especially on TikTok and YouTube, that paints Oprah not just as a media queen, but as a kind of handler for Hollywood's elite. To be clear, no one says Dave directly accused her. But a viral video showed Oprah, Dave's voice, and his quote, stirring the idea that some stars don't just get lucky, they get chosen. And when someone threatens to expose secrets, a handler steps in. People often ask me, "Dave, did you know about those free golf parties?" I say, "No, man, I didn't." Then they wonder, why bring Oprah into a story about Malcolm Warner? According to two industry vets who wanted to stay anonymous, Malcolm confided that he was upset about how some people get protected while others get punished. One of those people, they say, was Oprah. Years ago, Malcolm appeared on her show, and their friendly chat now gets new attention. If you look closely, you'll see his expression change when she talks about his legacy, as if he knew that legacy could be a problem. Then there's the Diddy connection. If you're thinking, here we go again with those crazy parties, you're not alone. But listen, while Dave joked about never getting invited to Diddy's wild events, Malcolm's choice not to go might have been a serious message. A former music publicist who worked with both Malcolm and another artist in the early 2000s said Malcolm was invited to one of Diddy's private LA events, and he said no. Seems simple, right? Not in this world. Those parties, according to federal charges, are linked to serious allegations of control and abuse. I've been in trouble plenty of times myself. But let me tell you, Puffy is in some deep trouble now. A major legal case is hitting him hard. In normal life, saying no might be no big deal. But in this business, saying no can change everything. In Hollywood, things don't work like they do anywhere else. Saying no to a party invite isn't just about being shy or antisocial, it can mark you as disloyal. And in this business, loyalty doesn't mean friendship, it means keeping quiet. We've all seen what happened to Dave when he broke those unspoken rules. Now, we're watching Cat Williams, who's been speaking out recklessly for months and seems to know exactly what's coming. Back in January, he warned that all these deviants would face trouble in 2024, and he wasn't wrong. Diddy got arrested, Oprah's back in the spotlight, and now Malcolm Jamal Warner is gone. His death wrapped in headlines that make us look away before we think too deeply. The incident happened on Sunday in Costa Rica, where he was on a family vacation, swimming off the coast of a place called Cocles in the province of Limon. I've been to Costa Rica myself, and those ocean currents can be really strong. It's easy to accept that Warner drowned, that it was a tragic accident. But something about the timing, the players involved, and the whispers just doesn't feel right. He was swimming at Playa Grande when the current pulled him under. A 29-year-old stranger from Nicaragua risked his own life trying to save Malcolm. Why does that detail stand out? Maybe because it shows the randomness of the event. Maybe because it proves Warner didn't die alone. Or maybe because that man survived, was discharged from the hospital, and has stayed silent ever since. Has anyone asked him what really happened? Back in 2015, Malcolm spoke about legacy. He wanted to be remembered as more than just Theo Huxtable, as a good man who stood for something. Could that same integrity have made him a threat? In an industry that thrives on chaos and control, Warner's calm, steady life may have been the most rebellious thing of all. I just want to remind you, as I remind myself, that no matter what's happening, there's always a reason to smile. Take a moment, look around, and I bet you'll find at least one good thing. And if you can't find one, maybe you should be the reason someone else smiles today. Now, let's ask the hard question. Did Malcolm Jamal Warner's honesty and integrity cost him his life? I'm serious. It's no fun being famous anymore, it's scary. Honestly, it feels like storming the beaches of Normandy during World War II. And this pattern? It's not random, it's haunting. We've seen it before. Talented Black entertainers rising on their own terms, only to suddenly disappear, fall apart, or get dragged through the mud under suspicious circumstances. Dave left behind $50 million and vanished to South Africa, not because he wanted peace, but because, as he said himself, the industry was breaking his mind. Cat Williams has been cycling through jail, lawsuits, and public meltdowns, but if you listen closely, he's not ranting, he's revealing truths. Remember his January warning about deviants catching hell in 2024? Who's caught it hardest? Diddy. Once praised for building empires, he's now facing serious federal charges and court battles that read like a true crime story. From wild, freak-off parties to piles of seized substances, it sounds unbelievable until you recall how long people laughed off Epstein's island. And speaking of Epstein, this trail leads to one of media's most polished and protected faces, Oprah Winfrey. Watching the fiery videos and reading comments, you see people saying, "Good. These celebrities deserve it." That reaction? That's why I hate poor people. Now, things get even darker. In 2012, Oprah sat with John of God, a so-called miracle healer from Brazil, and called him inspiring. She looked humbled, even reverent. But years later, he was exposed as a predator. Hundreds of women came forward with horror stories. He kept victims chained, made them pregnant, and sold their babies for organ trafficking. It sounds like a nightmare, but Oprah had already given him her global approval. Later, she distanced herself with a careful statement. But why would someone with her influence promote him in the first place? Honestly, I'm in a tough spot tonight just thinking about this. And it's not the only questionable connection. Oprah also stayed publicly close to Harvey Weinstein for years, smiling on red carpets, co-hosting events. Weinstein, of course, is now serving decades for abusing women in the entertainment world. Add to that the whispers, never confirmed, but never fully denied, about Oprah's possible ties to Jeffrey Epstein's circle. No meetings, no photos, no solid proof, but also no clear denial. That silence speaks volumes, and people are starting to notice. Because if Oprah missed something as terrible as Joel Deo's, then what else might she have missed? Or worse, what has she chosen to ignore? The bigger question is, why does her image stay untouchable? While others get canceled for a careless tweet or a bad comment, Oprah remains above the storm. Is it because she's built a huge philanthropic empire that's too big to question? Or is it, as some now claim, that she plays a strategic role in keeping the silence alive? A former daytime producer, now retired, even said she has the power to make or break careers with just one phone call. If that's even half true, then Oprah is no longer just a celebrity, she's a gatekeeper. And here's where it gets even more intense. Just days ago, Malcolm Jamal Warner dropped a new podcast episode. Fans are listening closely now, wondering if it might be one of the last times they'll hear from him. This brings us full circle. Malcolm wasn't just planning a podcast or thinking about legacy. A longtime friend told an independent host that Malcolm had become obsessed with patterns, numbers, dates, cycles, an underground kind of numerology he believed explained why certain celebrities rise and fall when they do. Sounds crazy? Look closer. On the morning of his death, Malcolm went for a swim near the coast just before and after sunrise. Authorities found his body hundreds of yards down the shoreline, in a rocky cove, washed up against the rocks. He died on July 20th, 2025. The date, July 20th, adds up to 9. His age, 54, also adds up to 9. The Cosby Show first aired on September 20th, 1984, another 9. Most people see nothing in this, but those who watch industry symbolism know 9 is a powerful number. It stands for endings, completions, sacrifices. For decades, it's been tied to numerological rituals. Is it coincidence? Or was Malcolm trying to reveal a cycle before he got caught in it? While some disappear, others stay changed, haunted, slowly breaking in public. The damage doesn't always show in headlines or obituaries. Sometimes it leaks out quietly, in the eyes of those who survived too much and spoke too little. Take Chloe Bailey, for example. Once praised as a prodigy under Beyoncé's wing, celebrated for her voice and image, she's now a troubling example of how the industry can crush its own. When her film Sinners and Saints premiered, she should have been celebrating. Instead, the public saw her almost in tears during press events. Her discomfort was clear. What was supposed to lift her up became proof that even success comes with a cost. Chloe said, "I've been doing this for over 40 years. But now I'm at a place where acting excites me as much as it did when I was 9 in theater." But insiders whisper about the tight creative control over Chloe and her sister Hai. The raw, authentic artist they once were was slowly shaped into a manufactured persona. This wasn't just branding, it was transformation under pressure. One that strips away choice, isolates you from your own feelings, and forces you to perform happiness on cue. Chloe's reaction at Sinners and Saints wasn't just about the role. It was a crack in the surface, years of bottled-up pain showing through. The worst part? Instead of support, she got mockery. People called her dramatic, weak, overreacting. No one asked if she was okay. This is what happens when the machine doesn't throw you away, it slowly breaks you down from within. It slowly eats away at your spirit. The industry doesn't always end careers with a scandal. Sometimes it just breaks people quietly, bit by bit, until their fire fades and no one even notices the lights going out. For stars like Chloe, survival means keeping silent. Complaining feels like ruining your own career. Speaking out is seen as ungrateful. So, they smile, pose for pictures, and go viral for all the wrong reasons. Meanwhile, something inside them quietly falls apart. Behind the glamorous image is a mental weight no one talks about. Between projects, things might seem fine, but there's a heavier responsibility, like having a wife and daughter to care for. Yet, there's also a new freedom found in the craft itself. We've seen this before. Behind dazzling smiles and perfect red carpet moments, countless stars hide invisible wounds. Fame is not freedom. It's a contract to obey. For every celebrity who dares to speak and disappears, there are 10 more learning to hide their pain, to go along, and to survive. And when cracks do show, like tears during interviews or sudden social media silence, we're trained to look away, or worse, to mock. The entertainment machine doesn't just make stars, it demands compliance. And if you show real feelings, it punishes you for being human. That's the real horror story, not just the tragic endings, but the slow loss of self. Chloe Bailey's moment was a warning, a peek behind the curtain at what waits for those who won't or can't play along forever. If that's the price of survival, then how many bright voices are being silenced to keep the illusion going? Malcolm Jamal Warner had a long career, spanning decades and many shows. Before his death at 54, he had around 84 credits to his name. TMZ even released what might be the last photo of him, taken at the airport arriving in Costa Rica on July 13th. It's heartbreaking to look at that picture, knowing he passed away just a week later. Even more unsettling, some notice that his age 54 matches a pattern among fallen black stars who died too soon. Michael Jackson at 50, Prince at 57, Chadwick Boseman at 43. Different ages, but the same story, men who meant something, taken too early. Malcolm had just started a new podcast, speaking openly about mental health, Black fatherhood, and dignity. Then came the tragic drowning, a sudden story that closes the door before anyone can ask questions. Here's what he said once: "Yes, I got the flower in my hair. Today is my daughter's birthday. She put the flower there, so I'm rocking it. It's a beautiful day here in Atlanta. I just want to spread some love and good cheer. Life is out here living for me and for everybody else." But we ask the hard questions because too many names are piling up, too many stories end the same way: fame, integrity, resistance, then silence. Is this what happens when you get too close to the truth in a world built on illusion? Or are these tragedies planned, piece by piece, to keep everyone else in line? If Malcolm Jamal Warner's death wasn't an accident, then who's next? We want to hear your thoughts. Drop your theories in the comments. What's really going on in Hollywood? Who's pulling the strings? And what else are they trying to hide? Stay safe, stay curious, and remember, the deeper you dig, the darker it gets. Until next time.